When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or skins, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skins uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my linemate Matt with me. And today we're going to go over a little bit of Blackhawks news. We're going to go over the playoffs and Mitch Marner. But first off, Jeff Blashill, man, I'm not really a huge fan of this. You know, I don't think that we need to sign somebody just to sign somebody, and it seems like this is what it's coming down to. Especially if Sorensen knows, these players probably better than anybody. I don't see Blashill coming and doing a better job. If that's the case, I hope he does. But kind of out of left field, to be honest with you. How do you feel about this?
Well, a lot of people on here on Twitter wanted a coach with, game experience. He does. He's got a lot of games. He's played on a pretty bad Red Wings squad, and our squad, they had like one stud back in the day. It was Larkin, young Dylan Larkin, and look at Detroit now. They're still they still can't get over with with two different coaches. I'm not crazy about it. I just think it's been the thing for decades. We're always picking up Detroit's garbage and trying to make it work here, but not saying he's garbage or anything. But there's some better names out there. I'd like to see Jay Woodcroft get another shot. He had a pretty decent record with Edmonton, and last year they just had a horrible losing streak. They had to do something to shake it up, and he ended up getting fired. And look at Edmonton, made it to the final, Game 7, and they lost. But I think his system would be better. I know that he's got a more offensive, aggressive system, and I don't even know what Blashill's system is, but it really hasn't worked in Detroit. And I know he's with Tampa as an assistant, and they haven't really done much in the last couple seasons either. It's kind of been one and out, and I don't know. I'm definitely happy it's not a rookie coach, because that hasn't been working.
Yeah.
But it is what it is at this point. We have no say, really. So just got to kind of deal with it.
Kind of as the fan base, I kind of want to use Detroit as an example, because, at one point you would think that they would be, making the playoffs. I think we're in year 6 going into year 7 for Yzerman and his rebuild. And, it's not working there, man. And what happens here if, maybe we have a little bit of a setback, does Davidson and company get, does he get the treatment that Yzerman's getting?
Well, he started from scratch. I'm sure the ownership management, they know it's going to take time. And personally, I'd like to see a guy with even more than Woodcroft, but I like him. Blashill, I just don't know, man. I think eventually, look at Toronto. It hasn't worked. Yeah. And they've been firing coaches left and right, moving certain guys. Shanahan looks like he's out. And now you got to focus on the players. The guy's actually doing it. So at some point, we're going to need some good talent here to make the coaches look good. Because right now, it's just, here, you got the job. Here's some cash. Do what you got to do. And some things never change if the roster's the same.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. But I heard rumors that it could be announced this weekend.
Okay. Toronto, talk about like another squad in a bad spot. They make the playoffs, but they usually get bounced in the first or second round. They have a squad that should be able to win, and they just can't do it. And it's not really from a lack of putting up points, because they won Game 6. And Game 7 just looked like a completely listful, game.
They got
like
shelled,
they weren't.
Man. Yeah.
It was, what was it, 0-0 about halfway into the second period.
It was like 26 shot attempts to 1 in the first period for Florida.
Wow.
So they were getting shelled. It's a miracle it wasn't worse. And I like Craig Berube. I think he did a great job with that team this year. They looked better. It's just the same old, the core 4, the core 5, whatever you want to call them. It's just, you got to show up. And now Shanahan's going to lose his job. And it looks like Marner's going to be out, but who knows? They could do it's a Maple Leaf thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they tried it again. I mean, it's been 5 years in a row of this, pretty much. It's insane. It's like,
I mean, I think they've made the
insanity.
Playoffs.
It literally is insanity.
I believe they made the playoffs since 2018, and it's been the same thing every year. And we have games where let's take Marner, for example, okay? He was we'll call him a point per game guy, but he didn't get like 1 point a game. He would go stretches of 2-3 games without a point. And I think that's the problem with Toronto, is that you have the Stars, they'll win a game 5-1, 5-2, and everybody scores in these games. But when they're down 1-0, 2-0, and they need a point or they need a goal, none of these dudes contribute.
Yep.
None of them.
Yep.
I mean, I almost wanted to say, hey, can someone do like an health and awareness check on Matthews, because he didn't look like he was interested at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like incredibly injured and he's playing through an injury that he probably shouldn't be playing through, but he is, because he's making that $13.25 million a year. If it's at a point where this dude can't shoot the puck, why is he playing? That's his main purpose. If Patrick Kane was playing and he can't pass the puck, would we want him out on the ice?
Maybe for a decoy.
Yeah.
He'd be more effective than any of the Leafs' core 5.
I mean, like my point is that if Matthews can't play and he's injured to a degree where he's non-effective, then they need to put somebody in that can at least go out there and try.
Well, they said he had an injury he's been fighting since training camp.
It's his wrist injury, right?
Yeah. So, and they said there's no surgery as of now, and they're not saying what it is. So
that's not good.
So who knows? It could be anything. I mean, the dude scored almost 70 goals the year before, and he went. Well, I think he was close to 30 this year.
I thought he hit 40. Let me check.
The dude's unbelievable. He's a
good player.
And during that Four Nations, I thought he was great two-way, too. He was making some big plays, and him and Jack Eichel's two-way game surprised me.
Yeah.
Played
through injury all season. What fucking sense does that make? You're $13.25 million guy who's practically a 70-goal scorer when healthy. You can't sit him down and let him get healthy. That Leafs team is good enough to play without him. They're good enough to make the the playoffs.
Well, they could have. As soon as they clinched, I would have started resting them right away. But
33 goals in 67 games, 45 points, 78 points in 67 games injured.
Yeah, it's still pretty damn good. But I think Mitch had a great season. 100 points. I believe he climbed the ranks into the top 5 of Leafs all time. That's incredible. And I sit back and just watch the people rave about him in the season and totally turn on him.
They torch
him in the playoffs.
And
he had his famous, he's telling his team to wake up.
Yeah.
He's telling them to wake up. What happened the year before? He was putting his head down and whining. hey, show some emotion, Mitch. Let's go. And then he does it screaming, and they criticize him.
Sure.
It's like you can't win in that city.
No.
And it's time that this mix is not good enough to win a cup. They're not good enough. They
had
great
Justin
players.
Bieber. They had Justin Bieber sitting in the right behind them, dressed like a fucking clown.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
They should have told him, like, "Hey, get this freaking guy out of here. This guy's a distraction here."
I mean, it's just the mix isn't working. It's time. It sucks for the Leafs because he's gonna walk for free.
Yeah.
Or he's going to get a high pick at the draft to get his rights. Someone who's going to want to talk to him early. Cool, but it's not the same. It's not the same return. I mean, if I had to pick Matthew Nyes or Mitch Marner at this point in time with the non-playoff success, I got to go Nyes. He scored. He had a good season. He's an RFA. He's younger. He's going to be a lot cheaper. And Marner... There's so many destinations of rumor. It's crazy. They said there's like 15 teams rumored to go all in on this guy. And the Hawks are one of them. I know our fan base is like 50-50 with it. I'm pro Marner. I think getting a guy like that for free on July 1st is a huge, huge thing for the team and the city. Getting a guy of that caliber. This is a top 10 guy. And you don't have to trade anybody for him. I think that's incredible. And you almost got to start at 13 a year.
The problem is that actually the good thing is that you can get him for nothing and that you don't have to trade anything.
Exactly.
The bad news is his age, where he's in the middle of his prime. He's been pretty healthy his whole career, but I don't want to give him an 8-year contract. Too. He has a good two-way game.
It's very good.
I just don't want to give him I think with the max we can give him is a 7-year contract at 13 million.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would either. Honestly, I don't think Mitch would. I don't think he'd go for it. I think he's going to want to cash out again.
I'd give him 14 million for 4 years.
I think 4 is a great term. That's a lot of hockey.
It is.
You got to think if you're coming here, you're probably going to miss 2 years of the playoffs. Maybe.
Yeah.
You got to just factor that in. It might be it might be close. Maybe you'll be a 500 team eventually, but you got to just factor that in. You're going to get paid big bucks. You're going to be in original 6 town and not in Toronto. Our media kind of sucks, but they don't suck as bad as that.
Yeah, they're not like Toronto.
No. I mean, you're gonna get asked stupid questions like politics, probably by our beat writers, but coming here, playing with Bedard, seeing Frank Nazar tear it up right now, like,
yeah,
okay, this dude is with talent. Look what he's doing. I see his name in the freaking reports every day. Frank scores again. Frank scores again. He's a real deal. I mean, that's got to look promising. You're going to come with a great youthful foundation here. And he could be a leader on this team, a great leader.
You know, there's a lot of young guys that can benefit from him. And, you know, who knows? There could be guys who are kind of borderline right now, but you throw Marner out there and then they turn into good players.
Well, I think instantly you bring him in, Bedard's game will be elevated even higher. And that's what you need to do. You need to elevate your top guy and make him the best he can be. And if you got that guy on his line, yes, they're small, but you could put Mitch with anybody. You put him with Crosby in the Four Nations, he was lighting it up. You got physical, he kind of went away a little bit, but you put him with Matthews all these years. You put him with Tavares all these years. His numbers are solid. And I think that's what Bedard needs. And I think that's paying a guy $14 million for 4 or 5 years, so be it. It sounds better with Seth Jones' contract gone.
Yeah, it does.
It's easier to swallow, and the cap's going up $100 million. Yes, we're going to have to pay young guys, but we got time for that. And, you know, you got to figure they're not going to go from, unless your name's Bedard, they're not going to go from $950,000 straight to 10 double digits. Yeah. A lot of these guys are going to take a bridge deal, somewhat like Wyatt Johnston in Dallas. We're going to see Matthew Nyes probably get like 8, maybe 9 highest, but That's what it's going to be like, and that's fine. That's the rate now. That's what it's going to be like.
I believe if you offer sheet Matthew Nyes for $8 million, I'll have to pull up the arbitration list. They just released a new one. I believe it would be a first-round pick and
3 years, right?
and a second-round pick.
For 3 years?
No, just for 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let me look that up really quick.
Yeah, I know the biggest one in history, I believe, was Scott Stevens when he was with the Blues. I think the Devils gave it to him. But it was like 5 first-round picks or something, and they had to let him go, I think.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like aloe or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. With Shop Pay, that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts are going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
That's how crazy that stuff is.
Okay, so if it's between $7 million and $9.3 million, you have to give up a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. If you are going for someone and you offer sheet them between 9.3 and 11.7 million, that's 2 first-round picks, 1 second-round pick, and 1 third-round pick. And if you offer sheet somebody more than 11.7 million, you give up 4 first-round picks.
No, there's no one worth that right now.
Yeah, there is.
I don't even think Matthew Nyes is going to get 9 either. I think they should start him at 7, maybe negotiate 7 to 8. But I would not go that high. I don't
think there is a negotiation. I think it's like, hey man, here it is. Here's the sheet.
Well, that's just in case. I mean, if he gets offer sheeted, he's going to sign it. He's going to sign it, and Toronto's got to match it. That's it.
Yeah.
Toronto's going to offer probably a lot less, but if he's holding out and someone is to play that game, it's on Toronto's court to match it or say, screw it, we'll take the picks, but I don't think they're going to let him go, especially if Marner walks.
Yeah, 29 goals, 29 assists, 58 points this year. That's pretty good. 18 minutes of ice time, 18:31.
You need guys scoring goals too. You need, other than Matthews, it was always just Matthews putting in all the goals. I think Tavares had a great season too.
Yeah, he did.
They're saying he could, if he tests, he's going to get paid more, but if he stays in Toronto, they're probably going to look at like 7 to 8 range if he wants to stay. But
yeah,
do you bring him back? I mean, it hasn't been working. I know he's a Toronto kid, Toronto Maple Leafs pajama boy, but I mean,
he almost had 40 goals. He had 75
he had a great
games
season.
played.
They took that C off him, and it's almost like a weight was lifted.
Yeah,
off.
he
gave it to
Matthews,
Matthews, and look what happened. He didn't get 70.
Yeah, 38 goals, 36 assists.
He had a great season.
He's got 6 goals to hit 500.
He might want to do it with the Leafs, or maybe he'll go back to the island.
Yeah.
Now that Lou's gone.
He's 34. Would you attempt to sign him for $7 million
for our team?
Yeah.
No. I don't think it's the right time. I think it would have been the right time in Bedard's rookie year. Instead of a guy like Foligno, I would have rather give it to.
I mean, he wasn't available.
Well, I know, but I'm saying if it were like that situation, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, he's got a little bit left in the tank. That's why I asked.
Yeah, but hey, you play with Marner a lot. So, hey, you never know. They could come as a pair.
Is there anybody else that's kind of on your mind that you would be willing to offer sheet?
Well, it was Wyatt Johnson, but Dallas took care of business as soon as they signed him before Rantanen. That's the cool thing. On the trade deadline day, they got him locked up.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't really think so. I know there's a couple studs on Minnesota. I think it's Boldy. Is it a Matt Boldy or something? No, I'd rather see him just pay or spend at free agency. You got Nikolai Ehlers with the Jets. I heard today from a Jets guy on XM, they've had zero communication with contract extensions. He's a good player. He had a good season. He's real fast. Rumor is Vegas wants him. Out of all teams, I don't know where Vegas gets all this cap space.
Yeah.
But
Mark Stone, 82 games, LTIR.
Yeah. Most overrated guy in the game. Yeah, I'd like to see a guy like Ehlers. He might consider the Hawks, but going back to Marner, I've been hearing even Pittsburgh wants him because of the Crosby and Dubas connection. That'd be weird because Crosby's not going to be here forever. He's probably got 2-3 years left.
I thought his contract was for 2 seasons.
You never know. He might just keep going ones after. I've heard Boston. I've heard out of all teams, I heard Dallas, which is what? But then you look and you see like Sagan and Ben are done. They're almost up. Are
they retiring?
I don't know how you swing that. I have no idea. I could see if Dallas wins this year, maybe Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin kind of call it quits because Tyler Seguin's been fighting a lot of injuries over the years.
He has.
It's got to be exhausting. And then I heard Vegas again with Marner. Like how, But the Blackhawks were on that list, which is great. I know. I'd be happy if Kyle went for it. Said, "Hey, I gave Mitch a 7-year, $14 million a year contract." He said no. But I'd be like, hey, at least you went for it.
Sure.
I would respect that. But maybe Mitch is going to want to be the missing link to a team. Like Carolina, I think he already said no to.
Yeah,
there was rumor that they wanted to move Rantanen for Marner at the deadline. I just don't know where he would just get paid the money he wants and be like the missing link. I don't know what team is there, He's either going to go...
And has the cap space.
Could it be the Rangers if they move Kreider and somebody else? I hope not because I'm so sick of New York. But, yeah, I mean, we can hope. I hope it works out here. I think it would be awesome. I think getting a coach would be huge first. I wish they would go for the big fish coaching, like go for the best guy available. It just says you're serious about it. It almost seems like they don't want to spend money. I don't know, but we'll see this summer with the players. It would be sweet to make a big splash.
Let's take the four teams that are playing like right now: Edmonton, Dallas, Canes, and Florida. Do any of these teams have the space to add Marner?
Florida and Oilers will not have the space. Dallas, it doesn't seem likely. It's like you just signed Rantanen. Is he getting paid $13.8 or something? Whatever it was.
$13.25.
Okay. Wyatt Johnson's making 8 or 9.
8.25.
Matt Duchene making 4. You got Jason Robertson, Rupe Hintz. Those are your young core right there. Your studs. Miro Heiskanen, your defensive stud. You got Jake Ottinger in net. I mean, if they move some pieces around to sign him, maybe, and then he's going to go to Dallas for the no state income tax, which seems to be a trend now. A lot of guys are going to play in Florida, Nashville, all that crap. But Carolina, it's weird. I don't think so because he's already said no to it. I know Carolina would welcome him with open arms, but I don't think he wants to go there. I think there's already reports on it, so I don't think so, man. I don't think Dallas would have to do some crazy cap crunching to get that to work, and a lot of moving.
Interesting. All right, so the next 4 teams predictions. I've got Florida coming out of Carolina, and I've got Dallas coming out ahead on Edmonton.
Yeah, I'm going with Florida. I think Carolina could surprise maybe a couple games. Hey, so far, Freddie Anderson has been healthy. And look at the team. They're playing better. I know we're kind of tough on that club.
That's like he's like a ticking time bomb, though.
Who knows? It could be at any time. That backup's got to be ready to roll. But,
it's not Antinami anymore, is it?
No, it's like Kochetkov or some Russian kid that...
I was just going to say...
They signed Freddie to a 2-year extension, I think. And it's
they did.
Man, this poor kid, he's
right after we were talking about it.
You guys don't have confidence in me. You brought this old guy back that gets hurt a lot. So, I think I got Florida in 6. And I want Dallas to win. But I think Edmonton is kind of figured out. Like, the goaltending is insane there. I don't know what's going on. Skinner is hit or miss. He sits on the bench for 2 games, and then he ends up getting a shutout in the final 2 wins they had. And if Skinner could play solid, you got McDavid and Draisaitl doing their thing, and the depth kind of helps. We could have a rematch again. But I'm kind of pulling for Dallas, so I'm just going to say Dallas in 7.
I'm going with Dallas I'm going to say in 6. I think that Edmonton's house of cards is going to come falling down.
I can't count.
There's too much for them that has to go exactly right for them to go forward.
Yeah.
When it's not that way for Dallas. Like, Dallas is built for this squad.
They got that game changer in Rantanen now, who's pretty much scoring all their goals right now.
Yeah,
Jake
could take over a game.
Probably, who do you think the best goalie is right now in the Final Four? I got to give it to Ottinger right now.
To be honest with you, how do you not say Ottinger is better than
Bob
or Connor Hellebuck?
Right, yeah, USA. You got to really consider that because frickin' Hellebuck, dude, he had some demons that series. Even before, like, kudos to St. Louis. I mean, I hate them, but that team was rocking in playoff mode for about months before the playoffs started. And, Hellebuck just was fighting some demons, some soft goals. And in the playoffs, he's a wall. This dude is a brick freaking wall.
Ottinger?
MVP. No, Hellebuck.
In the playoffs?
Oh, my God. Playoffs, I don't know what happened. But Ottinger, he could be the future USA goalie, I think. In a big game, you want the guy who shows up in the big games to play. We know Hellebuck's a beast in the season, but, man, he's really, really, really shaky in these playoff games. Even the Four Nations tournament, he was okay. Binnington outplayed him big time.
Yeah, he did.
And who? It's hard to say that. Like, Binnington? Really? But the dude stood on his freaking head that series.
Yeah, he did. He had a lot of help.
He did. But not St. Louis, he did too. He took a Game 7.
Right.
That's incredible.
Well, cool, man. The draft is coming up. I'm pretty excited for that. Obviously, we've got the number 3 pick. A lot of people are. I'm thinking we could have a surprise. Kind of like how when we drafted Bedard and Anaheim picked up Leo Carlson instead of Adam Fantilli.
Wow,
there's a possibility something like that can happen, and we can get this kid.
Are you hoping for Misa?
I am. From what I've heard about him, he seems like he's responsible defensively, and he could put up some points too.
Well, with the Islanders, you got to look at their team, and they're saying that what's his name, Schaffert, and then that Higgins. He's a hometown kid. Higgins, yeah. I'm not a big
John
prospect
Higgins
guy. Yeah. So I don't know what they do. Do you think they trade it? I mean, this team was in the hunt for a couple weeks. I mean, they were still fighting for a playoff spot. It's kind of crazy that they got awarded that first pick. That's incredibly lucky. But I don't know their needs. I mean, they've always had issues scoring. I think that they should go for the forward. And San Jose is going to get their guy no matter what. I think the defensive kid. And I hope I think either way we're going to get a good pick. We're still going to get a good pick, a good player. But I know a lot of the fan base wants that Misa kid.
Yeah, they like Misa. John Higgins, he looks like a pretty good player too. A good offensive player.
I think the Lion.
He's 5'11" though.
He wanted that Porter Malone. What wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I was saying that he sounded like or he was saying he sounded like I said he sounded like a Batman from Batman the Animated Series.
He did, like the little top hat gangbanger, prohibition kid.
Yeah. I'm expecting
Al
that
Capone's
dude.
nephew.
Yeah. He's big, man. He's a big power forward.
Yeah.
And that's something that we could use, but they say his skating ability is the only thing that is a downside for him.
Yeah, that could get better. You're going to have better coaching up here, better development, and anything could change. But I think we're definitely going to get a good player. It sucks it's not going to be an immediate impact player, probably, like Bedard and Celebrini, but
right.
It's gonna take a while, probably a year or two. But look how fast Frank did. A lot of people thought Frankie Nazar was going to take 2-3 years, and clearly he was ready.
Well, he went to Michigan, and Michigan, man, they're pumping out guys.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right. He was hurt his freshman year in Michigan.
Yep. So we'll see, man. I hope we get our coach, whoever it is. We gotta stand behind the dude, whether we like it or not. Hope we have a good draft. Davidson is very good at doing his job with the draft. I'm gonna always applaud him on that. He's had some good picks. As for the trading and free agency, that's a different story, but it's still early in that. So I got to give him an average grade on that. But hopefully this is the year he gets the checkbook and he spends it.
He got Sam Brinzel as the 25th pick.
Very solid pick. I credit him on that for sure.
A 25th draft pick that's NHL ready.
He was playing a lot of minutes the last couple of games, and that's what you want. They got good looks on these guys, and hopefully they come off good training camps, and hopefully we move on from some of these dinosaurs. And yes, it's time to move on from Connor Murphy, because we got too many young kids in the wings that need to play.
Right.
You need to play. And honestly, I'm going to probably get some hate for this one, but if John Tortorella is not signed, bring him on the bench as an assistant, just to piss off all the writers.
Would he do that though?
I think so. He's old. He's probably just going to want to cash in. A lot of coaches do that. They end up jumping. I heard Trent Yawney is looking for another coaching gig.
Really?
Remember him? He was a coach before Savvy.
Yeah.
And he was good player back in the day. Good defenseman.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
But he's been doing well as an assistant, and I know Duncan Keith credited a lot of his career on him with his coaching. So it's another name you'd like to see. But whoever the coach is, they should be bringing in their own staff. I don't think we should be. It would be cool. I would line up head coaches if I could. Having 2 head coaches with experience on the bench, huge for a young team. Having like a former player step up, like Nick Foligno retires or something like that, bringing him as an assistant, it's not the same. You need a guy with a little experience. I'd like to see the Hawks or whoever the coach is bringing a guy like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. We've had Derek King for quite a while now, and but you know what, man? At the same time, the King and was it Dean? They both fixed the Blackhawks power play and penalty kill woes, man. Because we had a huge problems with those, and we were, I think, ranked 8th in power play this year, and then like maybe 12th or something like that in the penalty kill. That's not bad, man.
Well, know what? Your number one special teams player in penalty killing is your goalie. We had 2 good goalies this year. Even Mrazek, when he played, was very good. Now we upgraded with Spencer Knight. I'm excited to see a full season of Spencer Knight, too, as a starter. Yeah. And I hope the load management is good. I hope it's like give them. I mean, I love the old school guys that played 70 games, but you don't want to burn the kid out. Like, that's what happened to Hellebuck, clearly. Yeah. The dude was overworked, and in the playoffs, it was just seemed like he needed more rest, it seems like. So I'd like to see the better load management with goaltending. I hope Soderblom comes back. I like that pair. I like that tandem. I think it's a good 1A, 1B type situation. I think Knight is a better goalie, but I think both should play at least, like have a guy play, 40, and maybe the other guy just whatever you got to do. Because, there's going to be bad games. You're going to get pulled. You're going to go in, probably get a little more starts, but that goaltending was great this year. I think Jimmy Waite's our goalie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought goaltending was our best trait this season, actually, even with Mrazek, and then they moved him. But, getting a good defensive coach, good defensive-minded assistant coach, and maybe an offensive-minded assistant coach will help too, and put your head coach in there with some experience. It sounds like it's going to be Blashill. So hopefully he brings in a good staff.
All right, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. We really appreciate it. We've been podcasting about every 2 weeks or so because of the end of the season. Maybe as we roll into the Stanley Cup Finals, we'll podcast a little bit more. And we've got free agency and the draft coming up too, and we'll be talking about that. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for jumping on, and take it easy, everybody. This is the Tomahawk. We're out of here.